Good morning, students. Welcome back to your English literature class once again. Now, I hope you are all healthy, staying fit and fine back at home. Now, this is winter time, and I hope you are all in the mood of enjoying winter, right? Some of you would like to stay back under your blankets, under your favorite blankets. Some of you may have planned for going out of stations, or some of you may have planned for having some picnics to have fun with your friends and families, isn't it? Okay, you can do so, but have proper precautions since that dangerous virus is there with us, isn't it? So it is better to take proper precautions and enjoy as well. Okay. So here we start our new chapter, that is the letterbox. I have already taught this chapter in your class, but I have not given the video lecture. Yes, I know. I will be providing. So let's start. The letterbox. In a sleepy little village called Santa in Spain lived a very old priest. His cottage was near the church and right in the middle of a big orchard. Here the cherries ripened in May and the currants often earlier, and in August usually you could not pass by without breathing the heavy scent of the melons. Now, what does this mean? In a sleepy little village, sleepy means very calm, peaceful village, quiet village. Okay. So, in a sleepy little village called Santa in Spain lived a very old priest. Priest, you must be knowing. Who is a priest? A person who worships in church, right? His cottage was near the church and right in the middle of a big orchard, right in the middle of a big garden. Over here, this orchard is a fruit garden. Okay. Here, the cherries is a fruit, you must be knowing, right? Here, the cherries ripened in the month of May and the currants often earlier. Currants is also a fruit. It is a type of berry. Okay. So, here in this orchard, the cherries ripened in the month of May and the currants often earlier. Often earlier means maybe before the month of May. Okay. And in August, usually you could not pass by without breathing the heavy scent of the melons. That means in the month of August, no one can pass that particular place without breathing the heavy scent of the melons. Now you must be knowing there are some melon fruits, watermelons. There are melon fruits, you must be knowing, right? Okay. Now the next. The boys and the girls of the village helped themselves to a big share of fruits from the orchard. But the biggest share was eaten by the birds, the blackbirds, who lived there very comfortably all the year and sang in return the best they could. Okay. The pretty orioles who helped them in summer before flying far away, and the sparrows and the warblers of every variety. Every year they built their nests in the orchard in greater numbers than anywhere else. The best places were quickly taken, the hollows in the trees, the holes in the walls, and even the space between the rafters of the roof. One day, the priest's helper Maria burst into his room. Now, see what does this para say? The boys and the girls of the village, means the young boys and the girls of the village, helped themselves to a big share of fruits from the orchard. That means they help themselves, mean they themselves take a big share of fruits from the orchard for them. Okay, but the biggest share was eaten by the birds, but the biggest share of fruits. Okay, but the biggest share of fruits from that orchard was eaten by the birds. There are blackbirds. Blackbirds means, see in the meaning portion it is written, black songbirds, right? They can sing. They are black in color, they can sing. The blackbirds who lived there very comfortably all the year and sang in return the best they could. That means what? They have a great or big share of fruit, and what they do, they sang in return, and they live over there in that orchard very comfortably all throughout the year. Okay. The pretty orioles who helped them in summer before flying far away, and the sparrows and the warblers of every variety. Now these are the three birds. The pretty orioles. See in the meaning it is written yellow and black birds that sing sweetly. So this flower can also sing very sweetly. Okay. So the pretty orioles who helped them in summer. Who helped them in summer means who helped themselves in summer to have a great variety of fruits, a great share of fruit in summertime before flying to faraway places, as well as the sparrows and the warblers of every variety. Warbler, see, small brown or dull green birds that sing sweetly and are usually seen flying around in the branches of trees. So these birds can also sing very well. Okay, so how many birds we have got in this portion means how many birds are there who used to come in this orchard? That means four birds. Blackbirds, orioles, warblers, sparrows. Or you can say blackbirds, orioles, sparrows and warblers. Okay, these are the four varieties of birds who used to come in this orchard to help themselves to have a great share of fruits. Okay. Every year they built their nests in the orchard in greater numbers than anywhere else. Means compared to the other places, these birds have their nest most in the numbers in this orchard. In greater numbers means innumerable nests. They make innumerable nests in that orchard to have a great share of fruits. Okay. The best places were quickly taken, the hollows in the trees, the holes in the walls, and even the space between the rafters of the roof. The best places were quickly taken means, which are the best places that were taken by the birds? The best places means the best places to make nests. Okay. Which are the best places? The hollows in the trees. You must have seen that in bigger trees, in big size trees, there are certain hollows in the tree trunks. Okay, so that is the hollows in the trees, the holes in the walls, and even space between the rafters of the roof. See, it is written, sturdy pieces of wood that are used to support the roof. So the place in between the sturdy piece of wood and the roof, there is a gap. That is that particular place the birds take for making their nests. Okay. So which are the three places? Hollows in the trees, the holes in the walls, and even the space between the rafters of the roof. Okay. One day, the priest's helper Maria burst into his room. That means the priest had a helper whose name was Maria. This Maria was a female attendant, you can say, maid, you can say, whatever. You will not believe what they are doing, she cried. Who, Maria? The birds, she said. What are they doing? They are building a nest in your letterbox at the bottom of the garden gate. Now see what has happened. What are their conversations? Maria have informed that you won't be believing what they are doing. She shouted, cried over here, she shouted. Who, Maria? The birds, she said. What are they doing? So Maria have informed that they are building a nest in your letterbox at the bottom of the garden. Okay. She replied, I opened it to see if there were any letters for you, and what did I see? Bits of hay, paper, twigs and wool. Now see, Maria have also informed that she opened it for searching if there are any letters for this priest or not, and instead of letters she had got bits of hay. Hay means dried leaves, paper, twigs means small sticks of trees, and wool. That means what? The birds were making some arrangements. The birds were making arrangements to make their nest inside the nest. Okay. They must be sparrows, he said, and began to laugh like a grandfather when he hears of a baby's pranks. Now see, after listening to this, the priest have told they must be sparrows, and he started laughing like a grandfather as he had heard one of the baby's pranks. Pranks means tricks. As if he had heard one of the baby's tricks, he started laughing like a grandfather. Okay. He hurried off to look inside the letterbox. There he saw two busy brown sparrows. They were building their nest. So what happened? He hurried off to look inside the letterbox. He hurriedly went over there to see what is there inside. There he saw two busy brown sparrows. Okay. They were so very busy building their nest. Okay. I know you, my little ones, smiled the priest. In a few days, you will have 3 or 4 brown eggs. When the eggs hatch, you will need 3 weeks to bring up your family. All right, I will make sure that no one disturbs you. So, what happened? The priest have told them told in his mind that I know you, my little ones, smiled the priest by telling. In a few days, he had also mentioned that within a few days, these two will have 3 or 4 brown eggs. Okay. When the eggs hatch, they will need 3 weeks to bring up their family. That means when the eggs will be hatching, they will need 3 weeks for the younger ones to grow. Okay. Alright, I will make sure that no one disturbs you. He told that I will make sure that no one should be disturbing you in this moment. Okay, in these days. Okay. The old priest carefully locked the letterbox and left instructions that it must not be disturbed. He even wrote to his friends asking them not to send him any letters for the next 3 weeks. Now see what has happened. The old priest carefully locked the letterbox, and not only that, he left instructions. Instructions to whom? Instructions to Maria that it must not be disturbed. He even wrote letters to his friends asking them not to send him letters for the next 3 weeks. Now see how passionate, how careful he was for the little birds. Okay. If I leave the letterbox undisturbed, my little sparrows will be safe, he explained to Maria. Okay. After a few days, only the father sparrow flew in and out of the letterbox. Ah, thought the old priest, the mother sparrow is sitting on her eggs. Now see, after a few days, only the father sparrow flew in and out of the letterbox. Now, do you have any idea why the father sparrow flew in and out of the letterbox? Yes, it is the duty of our Father to arrange food for us, to bring food for us. So the father sparrow flew in and out of the letterbox to bring food, to supply food to his family. Okay, so after a few days only, the father sparrow flew in and out of the letterbox. Ah, thought the old priest, the mother sparrow must be sitting on her eggs. He was thinking all these things. Okay, he was assuming all these things. A few more days went by. The priest bent down and put his ear to the letterbox. So by this time, a few more days went by, and the priest bent down and put his ears to the letterbox to hear the bird sounds, whether in order to understand whether the younger ones have taken birth or not. Okay. They are cheeping, he cried happily. The eggs have hatched. Now see how this old priest have become so excited. Okay. They are cheeping. Cheeping means high squeaky sound made by baby birds. You can say sharp sounds. Okay, they are cheeping. They are making sharp sounds. He cried happily. That means the eggs have hatched. Hatched means you must be knowing. Okay. He had the heart of a child that had never grown old. Now see, this old priest had a heart of a little child that had never grown old. He became so excited at this matter only. Means the two birds have given birth to their younger ones. They are growing their family. By knowing this only, he became very happy. He became very caring towards them. This seems that he had a noble heart, he had a kind heart, and it seems that he had a heart like a child which had never grown. He became so satisfied, so excited, so happy with these little things. Okay. Now, while the old priest was listening to the birds in the letterbox, an important meeting was taking place in Barcelona. The Archbishop and some priests were talking about the old priest of Santa. Now see what has happened. Now, while the old priest was busy listening to the birds in the letterbox, there was an important meeting that was taking place in Barcelona. Barcelona, a big city in Spain, you must be knowing. The Archbishop and some other priests were having a talk in that meeting about the old priest of Santa. Archbishop means a very senior person in the church. Okay. The priest in Santa is too old now, said the Archbishop. We should send a young priest there instead. Now the Archbishop have told that the priest in Santa is too old now and he should be replaced now by a young priest. Okay. But the villagers love him, replied the priest. Let him work in the village for some more time. So the other villagers have, so the other priests have informed that the villagers used to love him. So let him work for some more days. Okay. The archbishop thought hard. At last he said, I know what to do. I will set him a test to find out if he is too old. I will ask him to come to see me in 3 days. If he comes, I will let him stay in Santa. If he does not come, I will send a new young priest to Santa. Now see what was his plan, what the archbishop thought. Okay, the archbishop thought very hard about this. Now he planned that he would set a test for the old priest. He would ask him to come and meet the archbishop within 3 days. If he comes, then he can stay in the place in his place in Santa. If he does not come, then a young priest will go over there in place of him. So this was his plan. Okay. The archbishop picked up his pen and started to write a letter. So for this, the archbishop started to write a letter. Now remember, try to understand about the situation. This archbishop had started writing a letter to the old priest who had already given instruction not to open the letter for those birds. Now can you understand what can be the result? Okay, so let's see. The next day, the postman dropped the archbishop's letter into the old priest's letter box. It fell to the bottom of the box and lay beside the nest. No one saw the postman who came to the bottom of the garden and put the letter in the box. No one opened the letter box because they did not want to disturb the sparrows. Now see, this was the result. The very next day, the postman dropped the archbishop's letter into the old priest's letter box, right? That particular letter fell inside the letter box and lay beside the nest. There was a nest. You know this very well. No one saw the postman who came to the bottom of the garden and put the letter inside the box. No one had opened the letter box also because they did not want to disturb the sparrows. Okay. For 3 weeks, the mother sparrow and the father sparrow carried food in and out of the letter box. The baby sparrows chipped, twittered, and staggered on their little feet with their beaks open out up to their eyes, waiting for food, eating it, and then demanding some more. Then one by one they tumbled out of their nest, peeped through the slit of the letter box, and flew out. The priest who was present at this pleasant garden party counted 4 baby sparrows. Now see what has happened. For 3 weeks, you know now that the priest have told that they will be needing 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, the mother sparrow and the father sparrow carried food in and out of the letter box. That means for the younger ones, they have carried food, right? The baby sparrows chipped, twittered. These are all sounds that they created. And staggered. Staggered means, moving unsteadily on their little feet, means they tried to move with their little feet with their beaks open up to their eyes, means they have opened their beaks up to their eyes, means in order to have food. They were so hungry. They were waiting for food, eating it, and then again demanding for some more food. Okay. Then one by one they tumbled out of the nest. They moved outside the nest, peeped through the slit of the letter box and flew out. Move out of the letter box. The priest who was present at this pleasant garden party counted 4 baby sparrows. The priest who was present at this pleasant garden party. Garden party means this garden party. There was no such party at all. Try to understand. There was no such party at all, no such celebrations at all. But the priest, according to the priest, this, whatever has happened inside his letterbox, this journey, this seemed to be a party, a celebration that has happened to his garden. Okay, he had enjoyed a lot. So, who was present in that garden party counted 4 baby sparrows. That means there were 4 baby sparrows. The next morning, the priest went to the letter box at the bottom of his garden. Tock, tock, he knocked. There was no sound. He opened the box. There were no birds inside, but a long white envelope fell out of the grass. The priest opened the letter. Now see, what can be the consequence? I hope you all can understand. Tock, tock, he made a sound. He knocked at the door of the letter box. There was no such sound. He opened the box. There were no birds inside, but there was a long white envelope which came out, which fell out onto the grass. The priest then opened the letter. This came 3 weeks ago, he sighed, but I did not open it. The archbishop asked me to see him in 3 days. I have failed this taste. Now he will send me away from Santa. A tear came to his eye. Now see, he had done such a nice gesture. He had shown such a nice gesture towards the sparrow family, but in return, what he has received, he had informed not to open the letter box. He himself did not open the letter box also. But now see what was the result. Now he need to suffer for this. Okay. He now come to know that this letter came 3 weeks ago. He shied for that reason, and he did not open the letter box. The archbishop have informed him to meet him within 3 days, which he had failed. Now he came to understand that he need to leave Santa. A tear came to his eyes. Now for so long he is staying in Santa. He was worshipping that church. He was going to the church. Now his job will be going. This was his job. Okay. So now his job will be gone. He came to understand that he need to leave Santa. He need to leave this place and his job will be gone forever. So by understanding this, a tear came to his eyes. Okay. He looked up he looked up and saw the sparrow family. So he looked up and saw the sparrow family. They were sitting in a tree just above the letter box, singing happily. So he looked up just above the letter box, and there he saw that upon a tree the sparrow family was sitting. Sparrow family means not only the parents but also the younger ones were sitting as given in the picture, and they were singing very happily. Okay. Ah, well, he smiled. I must leave Santa, but at least I helped you to bring your children. Now, see, this old priest felt very sad. He was crying, but then also he got a little bit relief. He smiled sadly while looking at those little birds. He came to understand that he need to leave Santa, but at least he had helped those birds to bring their family, to grow their family. This proves that he had a very kind heart. He was very humble in nature. He also had a childlike heart, which becomes happier in these little things. Okay, he don't want so much for his life, not even his job. He can leave his job for this little happiness. Okay, so here we complete the story. So thank you, my students. I hope you all can understand.